Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I have an Etsy restock of junk journals to show you today. 5 hardcover chunky tomes that will be available in my Etsy shop once this video is live, and I will link that down below. And they are all semi-naked. I did not include any extra ephemera, but I did include several pockets and envelopes and places to add your own ephemera. They all have over 200 pages, and that information for each individual journal will be on the listings. And they all measure covers 6 inches wide by about 8 3/4 inches high. They all have about a 2-inch spine rounded, and I will show you all of the covers first, and then I'll show you one completely. I will also then probably add some jaunty music and just fast forward through the rest, because they all have the same kinds of pages, just different digital images and different book pages from the same books. So, and when I do the timestamps, I'll do it by the color of the book plate. So if you are in love with a particular one and that's the one you want to see, you can just skip right to that. I'm calling these my favorite things journals because I've used my favorite fabrics from my stash, some of which I have used before on journals. And they all have sari silk closures. This one has a black book plate. All the book plates were colored with distress ink and then sealed with a matte decoupage sealer. And this is, you can write right on this, it's a cardstock parchment, but if it's not sealed around, so if you wanted to slip it out, how I do it is I take something rubbery like this eraser, you can just move it out and put something else in if you wanted. And rounded spine ridges, I'm hoping you can see that. This one has some lace as well as some cheesecloth. They all have 6 signatures, and they are not alligator mouth at all. Plenty of room to grow, but tons of pages. And I've left all the sewing. I've done a bit of sewing. I've left all the tails, if that bothers whoever gets the journals. They are so easy to just trim off. And this is one of my all-time favorite fabrics that I have. These are all that lightweight canvas, like home decor fabric. I have added textiles. Here is one with a red book plate. Again, the rounded spine with spine ridges. This one I've added a little piece from a doily. Again, the cheesecloth inside there. And this one has a green sari silk closure. Here is the back. This one has a green book plate. Again, the spine with the spine ridges and a little piece of a doily there. Oh no, this is lace, crocheted lace actually. And then of course cheesecloth inside. And this is a multicolored sari silk ribbon. On that one, here is the back. And then we have this one with the navy blue book plate. A blue sari silk closure. Didn't do any spine ridges on this one. I did just a rounded spine. Here's another little bit of doily with some dyed cheesecloth. I actually got this from Kelly at Book and Paper Arts in one of her book art boxes. Some dyed cheesecloth, different colors of brown. I think it's acorn and walnut dye. I'll link her YouTube down below if you want to check out her book art boxes that you can get all kinds of goodies in. And then this is really one of my favorite fabrics that I have. Nice neutral. I used Distress Oxide on this one, so I don't know if you'll be able to see it on camera, but there's a little variation in the color. Nice and worn looking. And again, spine ridges. This one has a brown embroidered doily piece on both ends, and the brown cheesecloth inside, or the taupe, it's more of a taupe inside, and the sari silk closure, and here's the back. So I will show you this one in detail and then fast forward through the rest. I am going to zoom in a little bit, I think. There we go. Okay, so I grabbed something so I can just show you. Pocket right here in the front. All the digitals I've used are from the Graphics Fairy, and I will link that down below as well. I've used all of my favorite scrapbook papers. They're all tea-dyed. Here's an upper pocket. There's drawing paper. There are a couple of ruffles and lace on the edges. Book pages are from The Secret Garden, tea-dyed. There's parchment paper. I've printed onto vellum some butterflies and moths. What I wanted to do is give inspiration for journaling and just beautiful images and my favorite things that I love to use. This is masking paper that the painters use, but I love this paper. More scrapbook paper. Digital image, love it. So there really is no theme other than it's nature and birds and florals for the most part. Fern image there. There's another printable image. Emily Dickinson pages. Each one has a little snail. Secret Garden. Here I printed onto the drawing paper. Here's another pocket there. And pocket here. They'll flatten a little with use. Another digital image onto the parchment. This is from a nature book that I have. A bird book. Tea-dyed pages. Audubon book. Some more moths and butterflies. Nice grungy pages. I printed onto this side, birds. So you'll see the same pages, the same book pages in each journal. Another pocket here, and then one here as well. Little bee, music paper, and some dyed lace. An owl. This is vintage ring-bound, spiral-bound notebook paper. I believe it's from the 80s. This is from an Italian book. This is a Victorian Flowers book, I believe it's called. I love this book so much. Beautiful images. Jane Austen. In the center of this signature is a craft paper envelope. And on the back is a wildflower book page. Another bee here. I didn't want the video to be super long. That's why I'll fast forward through the others. Here's another pocket here. And here. Some more digital images. Dictionary page. And this is one of the script bundles on the Graphics Fairy. It's one of my favorites. So each one has this little letter from a friend printed in them. And piano roll paper. More music paper, digital stamping there. This is from a French book. So many of these pages I have used in other journals, and I just went through, and especially this music paper. I love this. It's miniature, I think it's Mozart, miniature scores. But I've used a lot of these in my other journals. They're just some of my favorites. Here's a page printable from the Graphics Fairy in a sari silk ruffle. More drawing paper. Another plant book. Love this. I love the neutral colors with the pop of color on those pages. Some vintage tracing paper. This is from a vintage children's bird book. Another digital stamp. Here's a little flip out here, and another envelope to tuck away your treasures, and another wildflower book, another little bee, some herbs on this, another little flip out. This is that children's bird book page, tracing paper. So you can add so much to this. pocket here. You can see when I tea-dyed and laid the lined paper on it, it transferred. I love when that kind of stuff happens, those happy accidents. And here, just for fun, because I've said these are my favorite things, I've included in my favorite fabrics, my favorite things song from Sound of Music. I just put the lyrics in. This is from an vintage architecture book. Some more Jane Austen vintage. Yeah, okay. Vintage wallpaper pocket here. And it's lined with parchment paper. Another bee. And here's another flip out and a pocket. And then I also created one. I've done patchwork pages, I call them, but I did a patchwork page floating pocket with a sari silk ruffle there, and then just another little, you can use it as a bookmark, put it wherever you like in the journal, but done that with just from my scrap box. And here on the back, another pocket. And so that is the first one. And again, I will put it to music, and grab your cup of tea or wine, and you can watch the rest of these fast forwarded. So that is it. I did want to mention some of the highlights that I noticed going through that I thought you might be interested in. This I thought would be really fun to color in with markers or colored pencils, so I included it. And I also did try to kind of color coordinate my digital images with the covers. So there is a bit of a color scheme to them ish, and all of the dictionary pages have some sort of bird or floral or some sort of nature image. And I did use some of my favorite grungy tea-dyed pages that I have been hoarding, and I wanted to, you may have seen it in the flip through, but some of these, this is from a paper doily just drying on top of the paper after tea dyeing, and I've been saving them because I think they're really unusual and cool, and so I've included those in a few of the journals. And also the Italian book, most of the pages have some pencil writing on them from the person that used it to study Italian, and I love that kind of thing. And the one last thing was the vintage pages I have reinforced with some washi tape, all different kinds of washi tapes, to kind of go with the themes, to so they won't tear when you're binding them in. So it just gives it a little bit more strength for the book pages. And I think that was it. So I appreciate you so much for stopping by and watching. I hope that you like them. I'm trying something a little different. It's very hard for me not to load journals up with ephemera, but I thought maybe some people would want to have the option to add all of their own stuff and with lots of room to grow. So that is what I've done. So it's really, for me, all about the fabrics. These are my favorites, and I think they just make gorgeous book covers. So I hope everyone is doing well, and I will see you back here again real soon. Thanks again, everyone. Bye.